And the nearest road is 500 miles. Building materials, schools, everything. Barged in or flown in. We get about 12 barges a year.
Fall out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are caribou. In fact, we're going to stop right here and you can see them from a little bit of a distance.
Where?
Caribou. And I think one polar bear.
Oh, yeah,
also.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Where is these things pointing?
This is a little welcome area here that's not open today.
But you're welcome anyway.
Well, you're welcome to be here. Will Rogers and Wiley Post were killed here in a plane crash in 1935, about 12 miles out of town. So there's a monument right over here for it. Nice sign here saying Barrow on it. At the top is a big white owl, a snow owl. You can see it when you get out. The original name of Barrow is Geographic, which means a good place to hunt snow owls, snowy owls. Also, and please don't go off the little paved area here, but in the next yard over is a very good, very nice umiak, which is a sealskin whaling boat. It'll hold 10 to 14 people. It is still in use. In fact, that one was used to harvest a whale this year. Each crew will have 10 to 14 people. In order to take a whale, they have to all but put the boat up on the whale's body and drive the harpoon right behind the eye where the brain is. Small power head charge will explode. Also, as soon as that is thrown, there will be a shoulder-fired cannon with an explosive charge that will be shot into the whale also to kill it quickly. But they are traditional, and they will use the handheld harpoon for the first shot. You.
No, I have had the most trouble with this today. Thanks.
Brett, are you going to get us out with Point Barrow in this weekend?
We're going to get all.
Go ahead.
Down as far as we're going to go. Our power and our gas is. Yeah, power plant. We'll see it after a while. Usually I see that.
That's one of their boats they use to hunt whale.
Well, we have the permanent fund dividend. It comes in. I'll tell you what. Remind me later, and I'll talk about that. Yeah, the Alaska Permanent Fund dividend is actually a state savings account. It's made up of so much money from each
Hey, La Bamba.
goes into that savings account. It's about $28 billion right now. It's B, billion. And out of that, they take 50% of the interest earned every year and they divide it up and send it to every citizen of the state. This year it'll be probably around $2,000 per person. In October we'll get every man, woman, and child. So a family of 10 was this year get just around $20,000.
That's the end of the world.
After a real bad storm back in about 1982, 83, 84, thereabouts, some kids walking along the beach here noticed that there was some bones sticking out of the bluff of this little mound here. So they got the elders, and the elders called in archaeologists, Smithsonian, National Geographic, everybody came up. You can see there on the top where there's kind of a cut in it, a straight line cut in the very top of the mound there. That was from the excavation. This is called Mound 44. National Geographic in November of 1987, most of their issue is dedicated to Mound 44 right here. What had happened is they found a family of 5. 2 women, 3 children. Apparently they had died during hunting season and the men were out. But what they surmised happened is that during the summer the ice will go out about 75 miles. When it comes back to shore in the winter, in the fall, late fall, it'll come up and it'll meet the shore ice, and that's where we'll get the pressure ridges out there. That year, they think that the ice was about 250 miles offshore. So by the time it came into shore, it was like a rushing locomotive. And it didn't just come up and meet the ice, it overwhelmed the shore ice and came up and crashed ashore. And so probably ice 10 to 15 feet thick came up and crushed the sod house that was built on this little mound here. 4 of the people in the hut were asleep. One of them had a defensive thing, like they may have woken up. So they were caught at night in their sleep. Ice this way, permafrost, permanently frozen ground underneath them. They were frozen. For 500 years they were frozen. When they uncovered the bodies, the hair, the fingernails, the eyebrows, and the food in their stomach was still just as good as if you'd put it in your freezer. A little bit of frost burn, but that happens. They were able to remove the bodies, and I'll show you later where they're now buried at. But that's when they began to find out exactly how a lot of the ancient people lived along here. We're going to go up here in a little bit and I'll show you a place we'll actually walk out and look at some of the remains of some of the sod houses. Back over here on behind you, you'll notice a kind of blue-gray building there with the windows boarded up. And here is a historical site. What they found is after Mound 44 was discovered, they realized that all those houses that we just passed, they're all built on old sod houses remains. Every mound out here you see is the remain of sod houses. How the natives would do it is they would cut the sod out in strips, take it down to the permafrost, which may be 3 feet or more down below the surface of the tundra. Then they would sink the jaw bones of the whale, rib bones of the whale, they would sink them into the ground and form a 10 to 14 foot diameter hut. They bring the sod back in and they place it around and with hides, and they would seal it up. Then they would get inside and they would dig down into the permafrost and dig a tunnel maybe 10 feet out to where they could come in and out of their sod house. There was no light visible inside the sod house. What they used is they used a seal oil lamp, which was made out of a soapstone type setup. They put the seal oil in it, they get moss during the summer, let it dry out, and then they would put a line of moss just above the oil line along one edge of the seal oil lamp, use the old bow type starter, get the moss burning, and then use a piece of bone or antler to begin to get that oil up to the moss, and then the moss would act like a wick. So they may have a flame this long and that high burning. And 1 or 2 of those would keep the typical sod house at about 60 degrees when it was 60 below outside. Behind the ground here, this is the Lemming Trail. Now think about little. There you can get an idea. See, they had no 2x4s. The only building material they had was wood, which makes sense. Those
What did he say? Just little white flowers?
Yeah, you call them big white flowers.
Okay.
So that's what they are. Oh, I don't want to get the shadow first. Oh, okay. What?
They're so tiny. I don't know.
Oh, wait.
Good grief, are they little?
Are they tiny, tiny, tiny?
Oh.
Looks like they have four
Oh.
little petals.
Beautiful. Okay, this is the shoreline here of the Arctic Ocean. The ice is all breaking up. It's actually quite a shoreline here. These boys are supposed to be cleaning up. And beautiful, beautiful. Still frozen way out there. There's still huge, huge chunks of ice.
See, with the gravel there that they piled up